adjust the camera a little. Do that whole Michael Jackson video thing. All right. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Nuts. This is 101 with your host, Fuzz, over here in the fuzzy pussy in the top right corner under the duck. Tonight, we are looking at beers that are inspired by our faithful companions. That's right. This is a pet-themed video, a pet-themed week this week, where the beer has to have mention of, some kind of pet theme. So
I thought it was just animals.
Cat or dog, or it could be your faithful friend Greg.
I thought it was animals, not pets.
Well, okay, so yes, the animals is okay.
Technically, any animal can be a pet if you're stupid enough.
Exactly.
This is true.
Believe in yourself.
That dude that put a fucking tiger in his condo. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
His name was Mike Tyson.
If it's animal themed, whatever it is, it's okay. So, without further ado, let's go down to who we have with us, starting with.
Oh, we already started. I didn't even interrupt Nick. Hi, Nick.
Oh, don't worry, Greg. I got you covered.
You're late.
Nice.
Hey,
sorry.
Buzz, coming straight from my work office.
Nice.
Workopolis.
Workopolis.
With my shittier camera.
So you're on your work computer?
No, I have a personal computer in here too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what do you got what's your pet theme beer this week?
Well, I'm not a dog person. That's fine. But today I've chosen a Pickeroon's Feel Good.
Ooh. Put the pug on the can.
Oh,
the Imperial Pilsner.
Yeah.
Imperial Pilsner.
I don't think I've ever heard of one of those. A 7% Pilsner. That's fucking weird.
A 7% Imperial Pilsner.
Like, Pilsner's 4.55, like almost across the board from what I've ever seen in my life. That's weird right there.
And Pickeroon's is from Fredericton, New Brunswick. And August 15th, 2024.
Ooh,
it actually says August.
Wow, so it's not that old of a can. It's younger. It's newer than mine. All right. Thank you, Fuzzy. Let's go over to the beard. If I can get him. All right, Beard. How you doing tonight?
How you doing?
Not great. I'm doing.
You doing?
You know it.
You doing?
I'm doing.
You doing? I got a weird fucking beer.
What is it called? Halloween lager.
Halloween lager.
Halloween. It's got German Shepherds all over the can. So
there's 6 different labels for this beer, and some have cats, some have dogs. I grabbed this one, German Shepherds. I don't know, kind of reminded me. It's a Layla can.
Nice.
Doesn't look like Layla.
And net proceeds from sale of this can supports Cats in Need. Okay. And oddly enough, this is brewed by the Old Tomorrow Brewing Company of Toronto, Ontario.
I haven't seen that one brewery in a while.
I was gonna say, is that an LTBO purchase? Because I haven't seen that.
It is.
And
yeah, it's just it's a lager. So I'm expecting pretty exciting things out of this beer, I tell you.
Yay! Alrighty, thank you, Beardo. Let's go over to the Mr. Lee of High Tide and Vibe. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm fantastic, Nicholas. How are you?
Awesome. I'm being. You know it. I'm me.
All right.
You get rid of a bad thing.
You keep on keeping on, bro.
I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Right on. Yeah. So what do you drinking on tonight?
From Burnside Brewing, formerly Spindrift, from here in Nova Scotia, in Dartmouth to be exact. I have Toller Gold, which is one of it's basically their budget lager line kind of thing. Like, hey, we're going to do macro beers better than macro companies do macro beers kind of thing.
Nice.
It's not that difficult.
5% alcohol by volume, and this is their big supersize cans that they sell now. So
Ooh.
yeah, you can get it in singles for it's 568 milliliter cans. So,
Oh wow! So like the Muskoka ones.
You can tell they made the can art for a regular tall boy and then just extended it at the top.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So is that Toller beer, or is that company the one that's in litigation with can't remember who?
They maybe are in litigation with someone. I don't know, because they had to change their name.
Right.
They used to be Spindrift, and then someone else had the name, and I think they were threatened legal action, and that's why they changed it to Burnside. But
No, I thought the litigation was separate from the change of the name, where they were contracted to brew something. They brewed it, shipped it, and they complained. The customers complained that it didn't taste the same or didn't taste right.
Oh, maybe
there was a New Brunswick brewery that got that beer brewed by a Nova Scotia brewery, and the taste is all off. I forget the name. I don't know. It's a mess, a legal mess, and I think really the onus is on the New Brunswick brewery. So I can find out. I've heard that story. I just can't remember which New Brunswick brewery
it was that company.
It might have been Burnside that was brewing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Alrighty, so thanks, Lee. Let's go over to Greg because everybody wants to talk to Greg.
Everyone wants to talk to Greg. Dan's just telling us how he has better beer stores than we do in Ontario, but he can't find an animal themed beer. How does that work? It's not that hard to find animal themed beer. You got octopus beers, you got dog beers. Like, how could you, Dan? Come on.
Yeah, they're not that much better if you can't find a fucking.
I want to say beer. Generalizing octopus is kind of a stretch. That there's only the one. Or the variations of the one that I've ever seen.
We can find one. That's all you need. Is now we have an octopus beer.
Does Great Lakes make it out too?
I have no clue. And actually, it's not really at the LCBO. Although they did have the pack at the LCBO where there are actually 4 octopus beers. There's the octopus.
That's why I said I mentioned Imperial, the light, and I mentioned that beer and its variants are the only ones that we know of. But
technically different beers. So we have 4 wonderful.
And speaking as far as pets, I'm sure somebody out there has octopus as like a pet.
I'm sure. I mean, that's not even that crazy of a
further than a pet. If you want to pretend some of the scenes in The Boys were real life.
I'm sure. I personally, even if I was attracted to one, wouldn't want to stick my dick into an octopus's beak. Because do they have beaks or is that just squids?
No, they have beaks.
They have beaks.
Do they? Yeah. So I would think your dick wouldn't survive that very well. That would just be my thought. But if anyone wants to try it, report back to us.
If you've got the deep's power and you're able to full on communicate with the octopus, who knows?
I mean, I feel if you could communicate with animals, that would just open up a whole new sexual world for you, because then you'd actually know, like, do those animals want you to fuck them, or are they just showing you their buttholes for fun?
I feel like you guys are thinking about
you could open up a veterinary practice and kill it.
What?
If you could talk to animals, you'd like Dr. Doolittle, the fucking if you could talk to animals,
Dr. Doolittle kill a lot of animals, did he?
No, you'd kill it as in you'd fucking do amazing is what I meant.
Oh,
Christ.
No, I thought he meant like you just have like all these animals to choose from. You could pick which ones you wanted to fuck.
You'd be putting down animals left and right.
like Dr. Doolittle, but the porn version.
Yeah, it's like carry over here with fucking Animal Auschwitz going on.
Dr. Doolittle, the snuff edition.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, before we take this any darker. So actually, I have a dark beer. So actually, funny enough, I was going to bring this for this bring your own stout thing, which I think was 2 weeks ago at this point. And I walked to the LCBO, which apparently had 14 of them. So LCBOs are not super accurate with their inventory, but 14, usually you'll get at least a few there. Didn't have any on the shelf. I talked to the guy, on the news, throwing the stuff on the shelf, and he was like, yeah, it's normally right here. I don't know what happened to it. Goes to check with some lady who seems more senior than him, comes back, says, Yeah, they're all just stolen. I'm like, 14 of them were stolen. Yep, took the whole case, just walked out of here. I'm like,
holy shit.
That sounds like the LCBO for you. The guy just went for the high alcohol stuff. So anyway, they got more of it in stock, even though their windows are now smashed because somebody broke in the other night. Because why don't you save yourself the trouble and go during the day? The LCBO staff does not stop you from shoplifting. Just walk in during the day. You have to break the windows. Don't be an asshole about it. Just shoplift during the day like a normal person. Anyways.
Oh, I feel like the people that do that kind of thing aren't thinking things through clearly. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
there we go.
What in the hell?
This is Lion Extra Strength Stout, and it is 8.8%. They said it was 8.5 on the website, I thought. So that's an extra 0.3% bonus. Yeah, so never tried it. Have no idea what it is. I will be trying it this evening, and I'm assuming it's probably a great drink under a bridge beer because it's probably the person who stole it immediately walked about, I'd say 400 meters and went under the bridge there and probably proceeded to drink them all.
Where's that from?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yeah, okay.
I've had it. Yeah, Chad the albino round sent me a can of that once, or a bottle of it once. It's world class for extra stout, but it's from Sri Lanka. So if you ever want to, if you're into like Untapped or something, you want to check your world beers tag off. Wouldn't
that be kind of
Sri Lanka beer?
Wouldn't that be kind of along the lines of that dragon stout that somebody had during the stout?
Probably. That was my backup beer. Now, although this is from Sri Lanka, this is actually brewed, I assume contract brewed, in London, Ontario. So there you go.
Really?
What's the brewery in London? Is that Stroh? Like
they don't actually say. I'll look it up in a moment when I'm off. I'm not on camera, but they do give 695 Sovereign Road. So I'll have a look, see if there's any
695 Sovereign Road.
Or just look it up now. Save me the trouble. Why not?
Yeah, never mind. Greg being off camera. It's all good.
Side launch. What? No.
Oh,
side launch. What?
I thought they were in Collingwood.
Yeah, side launch is Collingwood.
Now I look up. It says side launch is a brewery in London now.
I mean, maybe they moved. I don't know. I thought they were in Collingwood.
Maybe they have a second location.
Yeah, they were in Collingwood. I just thinking they might have opened up to expand production. They probably.
I couldn't see them leaving
April
Collingwood.
This year, Side Launch Brewing opened up a second retail store on 695 Sovereign Road in London, Ontario.
So they opened up that second location to meet the demands of Radar back when Side Launch Wheat was his favorite beer. But now that it's not his favorite beer anymore, they're facing crippling debt.
Well, they have to make their money somehow, right? So now you can get this delicious, maybe delicious. I haven't tried it yet. Lion Stout. By the way, I will be enjoying it in a Innocent Gun glass, which is, as you know, it is an oak barrel aged beer that you can unlock the flavor if you, I don't know, if they actually aged it properly. Exactly. So that's let's just see how this pours. Since I'm on camera anyway, and everyone's so excited for this beer, let's have a look at this.
So I've never heard of this brewery, but Equals Brewing Company bought Side Launch 2 years ago, and they're a brewery out of London, Ontario.
Probably being a little too aggressive with my pour, but there we go. So unlike Dragon Stout, which is kind of more of a amber ale in terms of both appearance and taste, this one, at the very least, is stout in appearance. There's no doubt about that. And the head is stouty. That's a stouty head. It does have a bit of a stouty taste, although also a little bit of a sweet taste. So we shall see. We shall see. But 10 out of 10 by Radar.
There you go.
All right. So next one up is moi. And I got another classic beer from Picaroons. This time, I've got Man's Best Friend Porter with the Scotty on the top, on the front of the can. I should let Scott have this one because it's got the Scotty. 5% ABV.
Do you ever call Scott Scotty in real life? Does he allow you to do that?
No, I'd probably get punched.
Yeah.
Actually, I know that a lot of people do call Scott Scotty, but I usually call Scott Fuzz. I mean, I've even called Scott's mom Mrs. Fuzz.
There is a select group of individuals that can get away with calling me Scotty.
Mrs. Fuzz might imply that she doesn't groom very well. I'm just throwing that out there, Nick.
I don't know that information.
Anyway,
how did one of us not get away, Scotty?
Wow, of all the
right,
things,
okay, so to finish the story,
said,
fuck's sake. So to finish the story that was being brought up earlier about that legal thing, Scott, it was Good Robot that was brewing beers for Think Brewing Company in New Brunswick, and because Think Brewing, I guess they decided to go contract brewing and just take all the recipes and send them to Good Robot, and of course Good Robot made a batch of beer and sent it to them, and it was all. The consistency was off, but I think the big thing is they expected it to work right away. And I think it was probably because the new owners of Think really weren't thinking it through. My beer, man's best friend from another New Brunswick brewery, of course, Picaroons in Fredericton, New Brunswick, same brewery as the one Scott has. Well, let's take a look at the comments that we don't have because nobody's watching this shit. So I'm going to circle right back around and bring it up to Scott, who's going to tell us his history with this beer.
So Picaroons is local to us. I've been into the Picaroons General Store in Fredericton. I've had a few of those beers in there. It's a nice big roundhouse. It used to be a train station.
Yeah, it used to be where they take the train cars and then the roundhouse would turn them around.
Right. Yeah.
So
anyway, we did that bike ride down there. That was a nice little time.
Me and Andrew, we did that a couple times.
Yep. Anyway, they have a lot of good beers. They've increased their reach by having a Picaroons here in St. John. I did not get this at the Picaroons in the restaurant, because they're also a restaurant. I don't remember if I had a Feels Good before, but I wouldn't be against it. Anyway,
you might have
lots of different things in Picaroons. Most of them tasty. We'll see how this one goes.
All right. Yeah, just to fill it in, like Feels Good Imperial Pilsner has been around since like at least 2010. So
yeah, it's been a while. I remember reviewing it back in the day. So
yeah. So I mean, I have a funny feeling I even had one with a meal in there. So anyway,
very well possible.
I don't do Untapped, so I don't remember.
I'm about 50 beers behind on Untapped, so I haven't drank anything in the last 6 months.
Wow, man, you're better than Chris.
Holy shit.
Congratulations
for going dry.
That's yeah.
I mean, you were really touch and go there for a moment.
Well, I was back when Scott used to just give me all the Moosehead. It was cheaper than water, but now that that's over,
yeah, never gave me any.
Now that that's over.
All right. All right, that's Greg. So thank you, Scott. Let's go over to Redbeard and ask him, what's your history with Old Tomorrow's Halloween Lager? Halloween Lager. Halloween. That's it. And then a few words. Alrighty, let's go over to Mr. Lee and ask him about Burnside Taller. You must have a history with this one.
Yeah, I reviewed it once on my channel. I've had all the Taller products, if I'm not mistaken. They got the regular Taller, they got Taller Light, they got Taller Gold, and they got Taller Red, and they got Taller Lime as well. So they got the whole sort of range. I think I reviewed all of them, but yeah, I've reviewed this before. The whole Taller lineup is like a really good like maintenance beer kind of line of beers, really. Like it's again, they're trying to replicate the sort of like here's the our version of like macro stuff. And what if a macro company made a decent lime and a decent red, and then they had like, I don't know why there's two variations of their lager. That didn't really make sense to me. It's like maybe make an ale instead or something like that, but whatever. Yeah, I've had this before a few times. every once in a while I'll buy like a 12-pack of it or one of the other Toller beers.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Let's go over to Greg and ask him. I think you already covered what your history was on this one, but
I basically covered it. My whole thing about the shoplifting, and now, well, you saw me pour. I poured quite a bit ahead, so I've had about 2 sips, and this is about the 3rd sip.
It's pretty much quite the history on it.
There you go. That's history in the making. Everyone can update their history books with the chapter of Greg drinking the Sri Lankan stout. This might be actually my first Sri Lankan beer. I'm not aware that I've had another Sri Lankan beer.
Where's Tiger Lager from? Is that India?
Oh, Singapore, I think, isn't it?
Singapore. Oh, okay, maybe.
I think. Let me see. Look it up quick. Tiger Lager.
You guys are the best. I don't have to fact check anything.
Singaporean. Yes.
Singaporean. Okay.
I remember that was here for a while too.
So until proven otherwise, my first Sri Lankan beer.
Here you go.
Probably only.
Probably. It's not like I again, this is probably my own ignorant mind of what I picture Sri Lanka to be, but I just don't picture that there'd be a lot of breweries there, but I could be completely wrong.
Probably not.
I'm seeing the largest selling Sri Lankan beer brand is Lime. Other major brands are Carlsberg, Royal Pilsner, Three Coins Beer, Carlton.
So a lot of imperialist international brands, like probably in there. Half of them probably run their homemade breweries at this point too.
Probably that British influence.
Yeah.
All right, so my turn. So my history with Picaroon's Man's Best Friend goes back an extremely long time. This is, I think, one of the very first craft beers I had from this and Timberhog. I think were amongst the very first craft beers that I had from Picaroon's all the way back in, like, I think 2009. As far as when I reviewed them, I had them so long ago. It was before it was actually doing beer reviews, and I had this. One of my first beer videos that I uploaded to YouTube, March 6, 2010, was this head-to-head video that I did of Man's Best Friend, Propeller Porter, and London Porter, just as a comparison. And if I recall correctly, didn't I bring in another? Yeah, at the end of the video, I bring in Rickard's Dark to compare. So that I remember that being a good night.
Rickard's Dark.
Yeah, and of course, later on, I would review it as review 141. So that's like September 2011. So let's just say that it's a long and illustrious history. I gotta admit though, I haven't had this in a while. So it's been some time since I've had fun with Man's Best Friend, and I don't remember it being a beer that just kind of went off the rails over time. I just kind of drifted away from Picaroon's as a whole, because the other craft breweries I felt like were doing more interesting beers. But this has always been an old standby classic around here. So, all right, so let's go over to the comments section, which is still empty because nobody's actually watching this shit.
Fuck you, Jamie. Fuck you, Dan. Fuck. Who else do we have to fuck? Fuck you, all of Lady Lee's followers who don't show up when she's not here. Fuck you, all of Redbeard's followers who don't show up even when he is here.
I would say it's more like fuck YouTube algorithm. Really, that's probably.
Hey, whenever I do a stream, I usually do a stream until like 8:15 or so on a Wednesday night, and I make sure and say anybody who wants to continue, I'm going over to Maxwell Star, and it's pretty rare that anyone gives a shit.
What kind of fucking simps do you have, Carrie?
There's 2 likes in the video at least.
And if they're offended if they're offended that Lee called them simps, tell them to come into the channel and write in the comments about why they don't appreciate what Lee just said to them.
Tell us why you're simps, cucks.
Yeah, there you go. Tell us why you like to sit on that weird chair in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what it is. YouTube algorithm's just been bullshit lately. Either that or I don't know, maybe BeerTube's either a dying art or like we're just not with it anymore, which just,
or we're a dying art.
Or it could have something to do with the fact that your channel is more or less dead, aside from this one weekly live stream.
Well,
you do.
Nick's been posting more videos in the last few months, so maybe Nick's videos have been like flagged as inappropriate for YouTube or something.
Maybe that's it, because viewership wasn't terrible. Well, apparently we got 3 viewers now. Hi viewers. If you have any comments, just or any questions, let us know. We will answer. We read everything because we are desperate.
If you need viewers, just bitch about the viewers.
Let us know what you're drinking, and I hear growling, and I can't figure out which one of you guys it is.
It may have been me burping.
That was you burping. I thought
it might have been. I don't. No, I don't have any dogs in the basement.
Arnold.
No, Arnold has a sore paw, so we're not trying to get him to avoid stairs right now. I mean, it doesn't stop him from jumping on things and still being a maniac, but
Well, anyway, one thing that we can talk about is she's not here this week, but this episode was kind of inspired by the fact that Lady Lee lost her pet German Shepherd there a week ago. So in memory of Sasha, even though she's not here, we can at least cheers her. Cheers.
I don't think Sasha was, at least not a full German Shepherd, but had some of that in her.
Kind of small. It must have been a mix, but still.
Most German Shepherds are mixes. How many German Shepherds do you see that are actually pure? I don't see that many.
My neighbor has got a King Shepherd that is like the purest looking, one of the purest looking shepherds I've ever seen in my life.
Those are big. The pure ones, those are big ass fucking dogs.
Oreo is like he's the super friendly dog. His name is Sarge, and he just wants to play. But Oreo is terrified of him. It's so funny.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
My cousin's dog, my cousin's German Shepherd, I'm pretty sure it's purebred, and it's a female, and it's like waist height. It's a big dog, and my cousin was telling me that the last one he had was a male, and it was even bigger, and I'm like, Jesus.
My mom was actually attacked she was young when she got attacked by the family dog. German Shepherd, and to this day she is terrified of any big dog. She's fucking terrified of it.
Really?
Oh, so she wanted to be coming over.
Big dogs are like the friendliest motherfuckers. Like, I knew.
You know what? She
one friend from high school
she'd be scared the whole time to go to Grace's house. Sorry,
one friend from high school, and Scott knows him. His girlfriend in the early 2000s had a thing for Rottweilers, and so I got to meet this bit of a drooly Rottweiler, but it was the friendliest fucking dog, even though this dog could barely fit in their trailer.
Rottweilers can be awesome dogs.
Joe Mullet's ex-girlfriend had the Rottweiler, Scott.
They can have an issue where their brain basically outgrows their skull, and it kind of makes them go crazy.
Dobermans that did that.
From what I know, it's Rottweiler. Maybe Dobermans might have the same thing, but I've only heard about it Rottweilers.
Redbeard, do they have to put that dog down after the attack?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I really doubt that was a thing that would have happened like by law. I don't know. Like my mom still has scars on her back to this day.
Oof.
They have, or maybe they sent the dog to camp.
I have no idea what happened to it.
Well, sent it to the farm upstate.
Oddly enough,
via train.
Where you can live with all the other dogs.
When I was like 14, 15 or so, my mom and stepdad, they had a chow chow named Rudy. And like Chow Chow isn't the biggest dog, but
fluffy,
the funny thing was he would run away every chance he got and run to the lake and go swimming. And you ever see like a wet hamster? Kind of the same thing. Like just like he looks all big and huge and intimidating, and he gets wet. He just says fucking. But he
seen a wet beaver.
He didn't. He was like Chow Chows. Apparently Martha Stewart's Chow Chows were super friendly to everybody, but Rudy was never really socialized. Like he was like my mom's dog and my stepdad's dog, and that was it. And I at one point came back to stay here for a while, and he attacked me enough times that they did end up putting him down. You couldn't have anyone come into the house and have
I
him
mean, it's
free.
almost like they could have got him trained or something. But yeah,
it's you're not fully wrong. Like I do wish that he was raised better. So again, like I'm like even I inherited Oreo basically, and Oreo doesn't have any concept of playing with another dog. He'll walk around like any dog that's bigger than him, he's scared of, and any dog his size, he'll walk over, smell their bum, whatever, and like if they want to play with him, he'll like walk back up and start barking at them. He doesn't have any concept of play, and that to this day I'm pretty sad about that because like if I had him since a puppy, every chance I got, let the other dog play. Now it's like anytime I am walking him and encounter someone with another dog, is he friendly? Yes. If it's a big dog, I hold Oreo, get him like let the dog sniff and stuff, and trying to get him over a bit of his fear and stuff. But it's like,
well, how old is he at this point?
He's 14. He's a grumpy old man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. If you haven't been successful at this point, I'm not totally sure you're going to be successful.
Probably not.
At the same time, though, anytime I see somebody else with a dog, if I'm walking Oreo and I see somebody else with a dog and the dog's friendly, I'm like, I want to say hi to your dog, so I'm going to bring Oreo and I'm going to pet your dog while Oreo sits there and gets sniffed.
Oreo is just used to it by this point.
Probably. Yeah, pretty much.
Aren't you the dog delivery guy? Aren't you the dog delivery guy?
That weirdo that likes to pet dogs.
So funny enough, I'll tell a quick story. It's possible I've told it before, but oh well, it's a dog-related show. Our old bulldog Max, who Arnold's a big boy, but Max was about 30 pounds on him, about 120-pound bulldog, big boy. Was not friendly, particularly to people, though he could warm up to people, and was super unfriendly towards dogs. He hated other dogs. This is partially because he was not socialized. He came from a couple that had him in Quebec in a condo. Good family as far as I know. He wasn't abused or anything, but they never socialized him. They never walked him. They never did anything. I'm not really sure what you're doing with a 20-pound dog in a condo that you don't walk. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
A lot of poo on the balcony.
Yeah, well, a story I don't know. I don't even know. But anyway, so the way we socialized him, because Greg is Greg. See, why do something with a scalpel when you can do it with a sledgehammer? So my thought was, if Max doesn't like a dog, what we need to do is get a bigger dog that he won't fuck with. Enter Layla. We adopted Layla from the Humane Society. And I'm like, we introduced them, but I'm just like, just let them play in the backyard. I'm like, they know each other. They're not going to be friendly. Let them play. Layla is bigger than him. She's got an inch of fur all around her, and she has a massive set of jaws. And sure enough, he tried to attack her. She looked at him. He actually bit her, but she's just like, what the fuck are you trying to do with your little shitty bulldog teeth? She looked at him and snarled, and he never tried it again. And ever since then, he became a friendly dog to other dogs because she's like, do not fuck with me. And he's like, good idea.
That's cool.
So, and Layla's still alive, but Max is not, unfortunately.
Layla's good shit. I remember my first meeting with her. Walking into your apartment, Agnes is holding her back. I'm like, I'm here for the night. Let her go. And within like 30 seconds, we're good friends.
Yeah, she was friendly with the squid-like creature that was on the floor. But no, admittedly, you did win her over. She wasn't that easy to win over then. Like we had Layla, like many German Shepherds, is a little bit racist. So we had our friends come over. It's a mixed race couple. So the lady is white, but the man is Sri Lankan. Although if you actually saw him, you'd think he's Jamaican or something. He doesn't look Sri Lankan. But anyways, she would not fucking calm down around him for the whole time they were here. Like they were here for about 3 hours, chilling in the condo. The whole time she was behind my chair going, grrr, grrr. I'm like, okay, Layla, let's fucking relax here.
Was like you guys talking about like the dog delivery guy, do my delivery shift, and the number of times, like whenever I knock on a door or ring a doorbell and I hear barking, I'm like, awesome. And so many people are so hesitant. A lot of people are scared of dogs and all the liability thing, whatever. But like, they're so hesitant, and like the dog will be there just barking. I'm like, let him go. And it comes up to me. The barking stops. Dog just sniff, and then like, okay, now we're friends. Okay, now take the debit machine. Now that everything's quiet. Like the one place I went to was hilarious. There's a down the one street here. They're renting a cottage, and I knock on the door, and I heard like deep, like big dog barks kind of thing. Like, oh shit, and knock. Are they friendly? I was like, yeah, but there's 3 of them and they're pit bulls. I'm like, well, bring them on, and. Yeah, there were 3 huge pit bulls, but they were fucking like they were so the breed hate for any animal, like any dog breed, is such stupid bullshit. If you raise the dog right, train the dog right, they're going to be, and that like some dogs out there, just like people, are going to have something wrong in their brain and not be able to be.
Well, there are breeds that are more prone to aggression, but it doesn't fucking mean every dog in that breed is going to be a problem. It often does come down to, well, it's the whole nature versus nurture argument, right? Like, yes, I think there's some dogs that are more predisposed to be vicious, but it doesn't mean they have to be vicious.
Yeah, if you raise them around other dogs and you kind of but kind of, train that out of them as they're growing up, and they can be like that. My main argument for anybody who said the whole pit bull thing is look at the original Little Rascals show with about a bunch of kids, and they had a dog. The dog in that show,
penis on his head.
The dog in that show, that was Alfalfa. They had it was a pit bull, because back then, it was basically before the whole fighting thing really started happening. Pit bulls were known as nanny dogs. You would have a pit bull to watch over your baby, and they were, they're protective, but they're awesome. Like and every single breed of dog. It's like bulldogs and pugs, just basically are abominations and shouldn't exist. But I've met so many of both breeds that are awesome, but it's like. Greg has agreed with me on this point. Like, he loves his dog, but humans are making that be a thing. Basically.
I will agree with you that they shouldn't exist, because they are so prone to health issues that it's kind of a little bit sad. Because, and even my vet is saying, like, he has so many because he's always saying with Arnold is actually quite healthy for a bulldog, and but of course I will spare no expense to keep Arnold healthy.
Yeah.
But like the vet has told us about how many bulldog owners he's had that have had to put their dogs down because they just couldn't afford the upkeep of them and stuff. Like, I'm like, why are you buying a $5,000 to $10,000 dog and then you're complaining you can't fucking afford the vet expense? That's a whole other issue. But yes, I mean they do inherently just have a shit ton of health problems, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. That being said, I fucking love bulldogs. Like I always say, I have 3 dogs and I have a bulldog. They're not dogs. They are a completely separate entity.
I like Arnold. I like Arnold, but like I will admit, I do love a pug. Pugs, like just some of they oftentimes don't bark. They scream. Like you look up like pug videos on YouTube, and they make the funniest stupid sounds, or just this derpy little. I love, and they don't have the drooling issue that you get with the bulldog, but yeah, like I again, they shouldn't exist, but I love pugs. Like doing deliveries, I meet a pug. They're like a little sausage most of the time, like a little sausage dog. They're so goddamn adorable. I love them.
There's a lot of adorable dogs out there. It amazes me. Like some of these dogs, like, hey, all these dogs descended from wolves. It's like, how the hell did some of these like miniature like teacup fucking like terriers or whatever, like how the fuck did you come from a wolf?
So many years of selective breeding, man. It's like that, like the effort that some people, it couldn't have just been like one person, because like you're not going to do it in like one person's lifetime, even though you'd probably get like multiple litters of dog, but you're not going to. But the person who the people that dedicated their life to turning a wolf into a Chihuahua. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably say like a Chihuahua. Like, I mean, they're of Mexican origin, so I would guess they came from like, what do they have there? It's not dingoes, but they have like something similar to like a dingo up there, don't they?
No, like dingo is Australian. I want to say like
no, I know it is, but don't
wild dog is.
Aren't there
Africa.
like smaller wild dogs in Mexico? I thought there were maybe.
Regardless, even like taking. There's a good question right there. Like, did Chihuahua come from wolf?
We'll never know. Nick, let's move the show on, please.
Yeah, okay.
I thought Nick fell asleep.
I just stopped paying attention.
First question. First thing at once, did Chihuahuas come from Mexico?
Alexa, do Chihuahuas come from Mexico?
Yes. Chihuahua is from Mexico.
Scott, while you're on screen, Scott, while you're on screen, Scott, why don't you talk about your beer
from the
Okay, so
let's get this thing rolling.
This is not a Chihuahua.
Not a wolf.
Not a wolf either. It has a crown. This beer, really tasty. Oh my goodness, I've been keeping my mouth shut this whole time. Oh my goodness. It is a really tasty beer. It's a 7% ABV. You don't taste the alcohol in it at all. Better colder than it is warmer. It has a little bit of a ting. Once it gets a little bit warmer, it has a little bit of a tinny taste to it at the back of your tongue. Once it gets warm. When it was cold, delicious. It's just getting not so great right now. But as a Pilsner, really good. Especially with the 7% ABV. The front end, clean, smooth, refreshing. Something that you could down quite easily. I've been kind of sipping on it because I didn't want to destroy it in the first 5 minutes. But something that definitely can be done. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a strong Pilsner, Imperial Pilsner. It's been keeping its head the whole time. Good lacing on it, right? For style, I'm gonna give it a 9 for style. For personal enjoyment, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Probably not. It probably lost some points on as it gets warmer, but still very good beer. Pick one up if you can. Mr. Lee, I think you can pick one up. You can pick these up in your local liquor store?
No, we don't get. I don't think we get any pickaroons anymore, as far as I know.
Missing out, my friend. Missing out.
Yeah, because I do want to retry it because I do remember I don't think I gave it a great review the first time I had it like 13 years ago or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh wow. No, I think it's just
to you back then.
Yeah, I think it's just better. If it wasn't good then, I would think it's something that you could really sink your teeth in now. You know, and Pickeroons is a small brewery.
Teeth into a beer.
Yeah, sorry. Pickeroons is a smaller brewery, so I mean they do little adjustments to change things every once in a while, right? So
yeah,
it's not the big macros, but
also my tastes have changed over the years as well.
So very good. I'm interested to see what Nick's Pickeroons beer it sounds like, but for this one, really decent. Something I'd pick up.
Nice.
Now I can finish it.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Let's go over to the beard.
I have finished mine. That was that was delicious. Like lagers usually are just meh. This was way more caramel malty kind of forward than I expected. And it was just that was an absolutely delicious lager. One of the better ones I've had in a long time, like for my tastes. I'm going to go 9s across the board, to be honest. But you know what? No, a 9 for style. I'll go 8 for enjoyment because I liked it a lot, but I didn't. Yeah, 9-8. This was fantastic, and I helped some cats in need. Yay! Well, I bought one beer. I probably helped contribute to one cat in need.
You've saved all the cats. That's simple as that. what? Sorry, Carrie. What's your beer? What's your beer called again?
Halloween lager.
Halloween. Okay.
Howl-O-Ween space lager.
Oh wow, that's fucking cool.
You probably paid for one cat turd scooped out of the box.
Maybe.
One cat scoop out.
I don't know if they make like any kind of like, if you owned a shelter and you had a bunch of cats, some kind of industrial sized automatic litter box, but I know there are some pretty impressive automatic litter boxes out there.
There are, but I mean those shelters don't have a lot of money, so it would probably be pay less for someone to go in, a student or a volunteer to go in and scoop poop than to get a.
Yeah, they probably have a communal poop trough.
I assume some shelters are a lot more like I assume that just like anything, some shelters are very well funded, some are terribly funded.
Yeah, well, I mean,
even the well-funded ones have issues.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Like communal poop troughs.
Communal poop troughs.
I mean that's a major issue.
Can you imagine going to like some kind of major sporting event and go to the bathroom and that's what you got?
It's just like the Romans did. All right. So speaking of
squatting in a hole in India,
that and boys.
Speaking of communal poop troughs, Lee, go ahead. Your turn to talk about your beer.
Okay, great. Toller. Anyway, so I like the can. I like retrievers. Toller is basically the smallest breed of retriever you can kind of get. They're kind of like mini golden retrievers because they got fairly shaggy coats. They got like that mid-length kind of fur. There's a lot of upkeep with them, but apparently really great duck hunting dogs, like even better than regular retrievers. So there you go. But anyway, this is basically just a good example of like high-end tasty version of your typical macro lager / maintenance beer, whatever you want to call it. It's got a bit of cereal grain, a bit of corn, a little bit of grassiness to it. There's like little to no hop presence at all. It's like 12 IBUs, so it's like the bare minimum that your tongue can taste anyway. Finish is clean, drinks really super easy. Not much more you can ask for as far as like trying to nail what this style is supposed to be. So I'd like sit a 9.5 on the style. Honestly, it's like outside of it, like having a unique, like really tasty flavor. It's basically hitting all the style points. My own personal preference, I'd throw like 7. It's something I buy once in a while. If someone handed it to me, I definitely wouldn't pass it along. I wouldn't be like, nah, fuck you. It's perfectly decent, good stuff. And that's about all I can say about it. There's nothing special about it. It's just, it's better than Budweiser. It's better than Coors. It's better than the usual slop that it's emulating. So,
can you pick up a 6 or a 12 pack of it?
You can buy 12 packs, and like I said again, you can also get the singles. Their lime comes in 6 packs of like little cans, and I think their red comes in 4 packs of cans, if I'm not mistaken. So they got a couple different formats depending on what flavor you get. But.
So you wouldn't be out of your way to pick up a 12 pack of this?
Oh, definitely not.
Right. Good. Interesting.
Nice. All right. Let's thank you, Lee. Let's go over to Greg, and he can finally tell us all about his Sri Lankan Sex beer.
Sri Lankan sex beer. Well, it's
better not be lying on this video here.
It's not a sex beer. I mean,
that was terrible.
I mean, I will say I do find Sri Lankan women very sexy. If you ever get a chance, I've only had sex with one woman from Sri Lanka. If you get an opportunity, I highly recommend it. They're very attractive and they're goers.
Did you check that off your Untapped?
It should be like, oh my.
He just cut out.
To just point out, you're basing your whole Sri Lankan woman thing on just one woman that you slept with. That's anecdotal evidence. We can't really.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I will say in general, I find Sri Lankan women very, very attractive. But so far, only one has found me attractive. So that out of what, like a billion Sri Lankans, that probably says something. But anyways, sorry, that's there. I don't want to get racist here. Anyways, this beer is good. I quite like it. So I actually, Lady Lee is not here with us tonight, but next time Lady Lee comes visits me, I am going to make an effort to purchase one of these and review it with her.
Sri Lanka has 22 million people. You crazy bastard.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking of India, but.
Yeah, all brown Eastern Asians look the same to Greg.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, Greg's comments are all sponsored by Maxwell Star's beer reviews, right?
Yeah, no.
Beer analysis. Keep it consistent.
Anyways, Anyway, the reason why I would love Lady Lee to try this, I don't think Lady Lee would love this, but I do feel this is actually a good transition stout. Whereas, you sort of have your very flavored stouts. Like I remember, what was that beer we did? I think it was the Innocent Gun Coffee or something. Was that the one where we didn't like very much and Lady Lee quite liked it? I might be wrong on the name of the beer, but I remember it was a beer that we all thought was too sweet and Lady Lee liked it. She's like, oh, this is a stout I can enjoy. So this to me would be like the next step of that because it is sweet, but it's a stout more like even more so like Dragon Stout came off to me as an amber ale. This to me is like more of a stout. It's got the stout flavors. It's got a little bit of smokiness. It's got a little bit of dark chocolate, but there's a sweetness to it. And it's almost like they maybe mixed it a little amber ale because it does have a little bit of the amber ale sweetness too, but you wouldn't confuse this for an amber ale. This is definitely a stout. So I almost think like somebody who's might be on the journey to start to enjoy stouts might be their next transition from like more of a flavored stout to go to this and be like, oh, hey, this is not as offensive to me as, fucking like, a Tempest or, whatever fucking your normal regular stouts aren't even regular stouts at the LCBO anymore than like the Wellington Stout. So I actually think this is really good. I mean, I've never, again, this is my own ignorant view, but I've never had anything from Sri Lanka. I would think, okay, some Sri Lankan beer would be shitty or something, but no, this is, well, at least the Ontario brewed version of this beer. It's really good, and it's not like a dumbed down stout. I would say it's it's a little bit more accessible than some stouts that are just very very bitter, very very kind of roasty, toasty, have a lot of coffee in them.
How much was the can? Do you remember?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up on the LCO website. I'll
Lion, right?
Lion Stout. Yeah, I don't think it was expensive. Like $3.50 a can, which by our standards is not that expensive.
Yeah.
8.8%.
$3.95.
So I mean, sorry.
$3.95.
Okay, I think that's totally reasonable for what this beer is. It's not a dumbed down stout. Is it the greatest stout in the world? No, but it's not a bad stout by any means. Like one of my favorites non barrel aged stouts is regular Amsterdam Tempest, and I mean this is not that far for my personal preference. It's not that far worse than that. And I think for the average person, this is a lot more accessible and a lot more enjoyable because it kind of does bridge that gap between a sweet flavored stout and an actual kind of more roasty, toasty, stouty stout, for lack of a better phrasing. So
Roasty.
So I'm all around impressed with this. So I'm gonna go. I'm going double nines on both of this, both style and personal preference. I think it's an excellent style beer, and I think anyone who maybe doesn't love stouts might want to try this. I think it's a good transition beer, and personal enjoyment. I will probably be buying this again when I'm just in the mood for a fucking stout and just kind of like, I don't want to go into my cellar of Tempest, since Amsterdam doesn't seem to make Tempest anymore, or they only make it every few years. I will definitely be buying this for less than $4 a can, 8.8%. Yes, please.
How many Tempests are left in your cellar?
I would say from I'd have to think about this. From I think I think 22 I have about 6 or 7 left, and from 21 I think I have 2 left.
Oh, okay.
If I'm getting my years correctly, but anyway, whatever it is, that's approximately what I have, and then I have a lot more double Tempest than I have Tempest. So
fair enough. It is a pretty goddamn fantastic beer.
Well, they make it every year. Tempest seems to be like a thing where sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't, and I'm like, I don't get why you don't make this beer. It's fucking awesome. And but I sometimes depends what mood I'm in, but sometimes I prefer to double Tempest.
Actually,
well, we might fucking love it, but do they sell out of it every year? Like, how fast does it go?
Do they sell out of it? No, no. Even double Tempest at this point has become a shelf turd. Like, it takes them about a month to sell out of it. So, maybe they don't make their money on it. I mean, you're right. Most decisions are financial, but I'm just thinking, like, I know, like Amsterdam, like you've become so commercial at this point. Like, it's like, come on, throw the beer nerds, throw the beer nerds a bone now and then, because Amsterdam is so. Well, a Bone Shaker, I will argue, is still, it's probably their best-selling beer, and it's still just fucking fantastic. But Amsterdam in general is not that. They're very commercial nowadays. They're kind of like they're kind of like the craft beer, the Budweiser craft beer type deal. But they can make some amazing beers. But it's just, if you're not in the Toronto area, or even more so if you can't make it to the brew pub, you don't get to ever taste them because they don't bottle them or they don't can them. And
it's funny you mentioned Bone Shaker. I went to a local place here today for a burger and a beer, and I was at they had some beers in the fridge, and I ended up getting a can of Jitsu from Bellwoods because that was. But she was telling me, like, "Oh, we got this brand new one that just came in, and it was Bone Shaker." I'm like, "I've had that, and thank you."
Laugh at the girl who doesn't know anything about beer. That's why you didn't really know.
I didn't laugh at her. At her. She was actually really cute. That was no.
Okay, you should have just indulge her. Just don't.
I'm glad you just didn't like
correct her, did you?
I'm glad you didn't take like your scalding hot burger and just throw it at her face and give her.
Listen, lady, that's been a beer for years.
No.
That beer's been brewed longer than you've been alive.
Years ago now, I used to clean their hood fans. Surprising, shocking. I did that job for a
while. Next thing you know, you'll say you worked at the Moose.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of it.
Jesus, you worked at the Moose too.
But the tap at the bar has like 12 handles on it, and in total there was 5 beers on tap. I'm like, the hell, and I guess they revamped some stuff because where their beer fridge was basically in the kitchen, the compressor was mounted in the stupidest place ever, so it just kept getting too hot and burning out, and it cost them like $11,000 3 times in a row to replace it. So they've downsized, and now they don't have any. Now they've just got this one fridge, and it's kind of on them. They've got the big 50-liter kegs, and 4 of them. Whereas if they bought the smaller kegs, they could have probably twice as many beers. But yeah, the beer tap thing was like just one of the most sad things I've seen in a while.
All right, can we continue now?
Sure.
I don't be a dick to break up the subject.
Nick, we're patting your excellent show.
Right.
It was beer talk.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, because I want to go though. All right, so Picaroons, man's best friend. Picaroons has been like I gotta say that I'm kind of hit or miss when it comes to Picaroons. Even some of their core beers, like I don't really like. They have a tendency to use the same yeast for a lot of their beers, or at least they did. And I just generally find their IPAs don't work. But one place that those that yeast they've been using for a very long time does work very well is in the darker British styles. This has been made for a long time. Picaroons has just been a brewery I kind of lost interest in, but there's some things that they do extremely well, and it's beers like this or Timber Hog that they've really done well. Either Irish Rider is really done well. This thing here, like if you're a fan of like English porters or British porters, this thing is spot on London porter. You got that light bit of like coffee kind of roast. You got the hints of chocolate. You got the I don't want to call it brown sugar, but it's almost like dark malts coming up in the cereal grains, like very, very roasted, toasted malts, and a nice, easy drinking medium body that goes down super easy with kind of a medium to low carbonation. Of course, it's kind of flat now because I've been sitting here drinking it for the last hour. But this. I forgot how good this was, if I want to be totally honest. And I should really pick this up more often. It's one of those things where like this is one of the beers that I kind of started with, and I've kind of moved on from it, because I like trying every different thing. But this was really one that I should be going back to because this is and has always been a solid beer. And even in 2024, 15 years after I first tried it, it hasn't changed. It's still really, really fucking good. It's going to get a 9 for the style and a 9 overall enjoyment. This is class act. I love
Everybody likes their beers tonight.
Yeah. And it's not the only pet themed beers from Picaroons too, because I forgot I still have the empty can from this one here from last week, which is Picaroons Melon Head, which has a cat on one side and a dog on the other, which proceeds go to the SPCA. So Picaroons is pretty good when it comes to supporting pets. All right. Apologies for interrupting everybody there. So now we can go back to our banter. Although I do want to circle around and ask, first of all, let's start with Scott and just ask him. Scott, of all the beers that you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have tried?
I want to see about Redbeard's beer.
Okay.
Redbeard's beer.
Scott.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
All right. Let's go to the Beard and see which one would you rather have had?
Flipping it back to Scott, I would actually like to try this with the weird fucking Imperial Pilsner is just the most intriguing two combination word thing I've heard in a while.
After drinking it, I'm starting to feel it too.
Nice.
All right.
A nice one, a good one.
Let's go to Lee. And Lee, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
Well, I've had both you and Scott's before. Redbeard sounded interesting, but the real winner here for me tonight is Greg's. It sounds the most interesting, so I'd have to go with that.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Let's go over to Greg. Greg, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
Well, I haven't had any of the beers other than my own, which I've just had. So I'm gonna have to go with my own. Well, I'm gonna do a little car talk here, so Lee can just stop listening for about 30 seconds. I'm always a believer that
What the fuck?
I always get excited more when I see a Corvette than I do when I see a Ferrari. The simple reason is because the Corvette's in my price range. Redbeard's beard is the one in my price range because I can get it in Ontario. So that's the one I want to try. That's what I'm actually going to seek out and try. So Redbeard gets a vote.
All right.
Cheers.
Let's vote for the Beard. And if I can bring me up on screen. Okay, and my vote goes to, well, I mean, I've had Picaroons feels good Imperial Pilsner. I go way back with that one. I go back about as far as this stuff goes. Because I think that Feels Good Pilsner originally came out as part of a Feels Good festival they had in Fredericton way back in like 2010, 9, 10, something like that, and it was brewed for the fest. So, Burnside Taller sounds interesting. And Greg's Lion Stout. I would love to be able to try that again, but technically speaking, I have had that beer, so I have to go with the most interesting beer that I haven't had, which is Redbeard's. So, guess who's the winner tonight?
Holy crap! For the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Yay me!
Winner, beer dinner, penis dinner.
She also mentioned Dan didn't show up tonight. The real reason is because a few days ago I beat him in Carcassonne so bad that he's just too ashamed to show his fucking face on the same panel as I
haven't played that in quite some time. Next time you want to play that, let me know.
That sounds like Dan would just hide in his humiliation because he wouldn't be able to handle it.
I mean, he was like when we were actually playing. I didn't want to have to say this, but since he didn't show up, he did. He was a real bitch this week. He was crying, and he was like, "Please don't." He was like, "Please." He was like, "Please, Lee, don't show a screenshot in the chat. Please don't do that, man. Please." I was like, "Sorry, I gotta have to."
Don't hurt him.
Oh, Marston's here. Cheers,
Please
Marston.
don't screw over my city. Please don't.
You know what? I mean, I believe it. I mean, listen, Dan, I like Dan. I like Dan overall, but when he comes to Carcassonne, he gets very emotional, like a little bit more. I think he takes it a little more seriously than I think he should, personally speaking.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I really mollywopped.
Dan takes things more personally than he should. What kind of insane revelation?
I feel like was this did Dan like I feel like was this like Dan agreed to be like tied up and paddled, but what you did is you actually put holes in the paddle and that for extra aerodynamics, and you just really hurt his ass.
Wiffle ball.
You put a hypothetical there, but really metaphorically, pretty much yes.
Okay, well, I mean, listen. Listen, here's the thing. I don't know if Dan's watching, but listen, Dan, a little polysporin goes a long way.
He's gonna need a whole jar.
Well, I mean, it's not cheap, and here's the
Doesn't
thing.
it come in tubes? I've never seen a jar of polysporin.
He needs a jar though. Go to Costco.
Yeah, you probably do have a jar.
All right, so
here's the thing: nobody's ever used polysporin before it's expired, so you can just dump the whole thing in your butt. It's fine.
Does it really expire? Just don't use the black polysporin around Scott.
Right? Don't use the black polysporin around me.
Oh, is Scott allergic to that?
It's got lidocaine in it.
It's got a cane. It's one of those canes.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So Scott never wants to last longer.
Because it is in like a not cream form, and you wouldn't have any chance of inhaling it. If that was rubbed on your skin, like what would that kill you, or would it
put him in a prophylactic shot?
It is. That was well played. Well played. That is as bad as inhaling it for you, Scott. Yeah, really. Wow.
Oh, I'm changing the name of the chat right now. Fuck
you. Okay. Speaking of Dan, next week's beer is
Scott. Holy shit, man!
Scott. Yeah, don't kill Scott.
Don't kill Scott.
Because it's his birthday next week. We're doing Scott beers.
Oh.
We're gonna get drunk for Scott.
We're gonna make Scott laughing, and then we'll blame it on the
beers.
Prophylactic beers.
Yeah.
All right.
Anaphylactic shock, Nick.
I know. It was the
anaphylactic.
It was the joke. It was hilarious though.
So wait. Maybe next week should be like the Colombian edition, like Cocaine 101.
Yeah, everybody find a beer with cocaine in it.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or just cocaine with cocaine in it.
Cocaine in the can, baby.
Everybody find a drug dealer that sells cocaine. Get a bit of cocaine and sprinkle it into their beer.
True story. My dad, who, as many of you know, is dead. Therefore, he's my dead dad.
Bring down the chat, Greg.
But no. But when he was alive, he was a pharmacist for over 30 years. When he was alive and when he started as a young pharmacist, he still remembers back in the day, they still had cocaine in the pharmacy because it was still considered a medication at the time.
Well, like that's a well-known fact that Coca-Cola started out with cocaine in it. Like
Merson's comment. Fuck my wife IPA next week. That's Scott beer.
Oh, Greg froze again.
Scott did not do.
Greg's still frozen.
Greg is
apparently
like
Scott supposedly hit on Merson's wife.
Greg is using the third world internet in Toronto tonight. I guess he's still frozen. Look at that! Look at that! Right. Nick, put him up full. Put Greg up full. Look at that beautiful face. Look at him. Look at that.
Isn't that a face? Yeah. The face your mother could punch.
He looks so contemplative. You know, he's like,
Right. All right. While Greg's frozen and we can talk, I'm gonna say thank you for watching. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Marson. We're gonna take this shit offline, and we'll be back with Redbeard's penis and Scott's birthday next week. We're doing Scott beers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, Chris Peters killed those women.
You know he did.